All right, I am here to talk about the exciting news of the launch of our Kids Helpline project. Yeah! This is a project that our foundation cares about very deeply. There's been a lot of years' work put into this project, and we're very excited that it is live. I do want to share a little bit of background. So the project was born out of a collaborative spirit with the Crisis Center. So they established a kids helpline quite a few years ago, and the Alex Panton Foundation reached out in hopes of expanding the services to cover more general mental health support. Ultimately, the project was fully handed over to the foundation, and I just want to take this opportunity to really thank the Crisis Center, particularly Anya. Yes. For all the groundwork that they did to build this resource and create it in our community and give us the opportunity and trust us to build on it and expand it. So thank you for that. After taking over this resource, we expanded to include some educational resources as well. Those are available through our website and app, which is live and online today. Some of you may have passed by me outside. We have the monitors up and been able to go through the website navigation a little bit. Welcome you to do so after I finish up here as well. In addition to the website and app, of course, we will have the phone line and text line services. So I want to talk through what both of those are going to look like. For our website, this is a snapshot of what it looks like on our homepage on a desktop, as well as on a phone screen. So again, it's available online, any desktop, laptop, but it's also available for download for both Android and iOS devices. And once the app is downloaded, all the content is available, even if you're off Wi-Fi or data. That is a huge accessibility piece that we really wanted to highlight for our young people. All right. So definitely making sure we're reaching our target audiences in the way that they will best receive it. We wanted to make sure that the app was very user-friendly and almost resembles social media swiping. Just they've got that muscle memory already, so why not play to it? And it's very age-appropriate content. So for our kids sections, ages 5 through 12, the content comes in bite size. As you can see here, that's a swipe from one screen to the next under kids' anxiety and worrying. So making sure that they have a chance to actually read through it and not get overwhelmed by massive paragraphs, that was really important to us when we were building out this resource. The illustrations, I want to take this opportunity to really highlight Michelle Bryan. She's a local artist, and yes, please. She created some beautiful illustrations that really complement the content that we've uploaded to the website. So you can see them assigned to each topic on the far left-hand side, so worrying and anxiety, bullying, and then of course just provided some additional images for you to see her work. It's gorgeous, and it really lights up the resource, so really excited for you all to explore the website more and see more of that there. All right, so we've talked about the kids and the teens. We want to make sure that we address the parents and the educators because they play a huge role in supporting our young people, and it's important that they feel well-equipped and understand what signs to look for. This is an example of what the depression section under parents will look like. It is more article formatted for the mature audience. Sorry you guys don't get the swipe motion. But lots of information on how to identify what are the signs my kid might be struggling, how do I speak to them, how do I support them, and if it feels out of my hands, where do I go to seek out more support? So it's got a lot of information. We have a variety of mental health topics, all of which includes that kind of breakdown for both parents and educators. Also wanted to highlight the suggested content area. That's huge. We want you guys to stay in this resource and continue to explore the content. So when you're scrolling through, don't bypass that one too much because it could be helpful and maybe lead you to some other really great information. We had a chance to connect with members of the community and get their thoughts and feedback on the website prior to launch. Shout out to Dr. Edwards for helping me bring that to life. I'm not sure if she's still in here. From our teens, I'm a little behind. Okay. From our teens, I like the various topics it covers for teens because they are very real and it happens to many of us. The website is very easy to use, which is great for people who are just coming on. Quotes from a parent said, "The site is genuinely very friendly. I love the cartoon characters ever since I was younger. I have always been fascinated by reading books with those types of animation. It's easy and to the point with regards to understanding, operating, and getting around the page." And from an educator, we got a lot of enthusiasm. Awesome, I love this website. Being in the classroom with so many children who face different behavioral challenges, I'm happy to know that there's a website out there that they can refer to in order to help them with their challenges. And I love the fact that the website is user-friendly and child-friendly. So it sounds like the common thread there was that it was user-friendly. So I really want to take a moment to appreciate our website developer as well, Robert Powell, if he's in here. We've been working very diligently to make this as easy to navigate as possible, and it seems like our efforts are showing to come true in all of this feedback, and we're excited to get more feedback now that it's a live resource for the public. So for topics we cover, we have 7 different mental health topics: anxiety, bullying, depression, domestic violence, neglect, relationships, and sexual abuse. These topics were decided on from our clinical and education committee based on what we were seeing across Cayman. I will preface with this project has been ongoing and building for years, and so I want to highlight that this will be an evolving resource. The content will grow with the needs of the community, and it can be modified and updated. But for us to be able to start with offering this much content to the community from an education standpoint, a tools and tips standpoint, resources, we're really, really proud of that and excited to share that with you all. All right, you've heard a lot about the website, and it is very pretty. We're very proud of it, but I'm sure you want to know about the phone line and text line. So in addition to the website and app, we will have a phone line and text line service that is completely confidential and anonymous for young people to feel safe, to confide in someone, seek support, and maybe if they're just curious of, maybe I have a peer who's having a hard time, how do I support them? What resources can I help guide them to? These trained volunteers will be knowledgeable of the resources available on island and be able to guide them in the right direction. They'll be equipped with the necessary skills to provide compassionate support and really navigate sensitive conversations in a way that best serves our vulnerable population. For the text line, we know that young people much prefer to message and be on their phones that way. And so even if they're a little more shy or just prefer to go the written route, we felt that offering a text line is where we may see the most of our engagement from our young people. And we wanted to make sure that we could meet them however we could, and it seems like text line would be the way to go. March 7th is when this service will be available. So we're officially going live March 7th. As I mentioned, this is a 2-part project. So today, our website and app are live and online, and March 7th is when our trained volunteers will be ready for their first shift. The operational hours will be Thursdays through Sundays, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. We found that that was the most ideal time frame and days to begin, of course, accounting for weekends of children maybe being home, maybe being alone and struggling a little bit more than they would during the week. And of course, accounting for the evening hours as much as our operational bandwidth could for right now. So wanted to highlight launch date as well as the operational hours once we're up and live. Also want to take a moment here, as we're talking about the operational hours, to highlight our volunteers will go through an intensive training. They will be well equipped to navigate those conversations, but they're not licensed professionals. They're not clinicians. This service is not a substitution for professional mental health treatment or clinical therapy sessions. So it's really important that if you walk away from this symposium saying, oh, wow, Kids Helpline, this is great, but I understand that these are good-hearted people who have gone through rigorous training so that they can best show up for our young community. That is a really important takeaway that I hope you bring with you. All right, so we've talked through what exactly we offer and a little bit of the history of how we got here. And I want to just share how important this resource and project is to the community and enhancing it. The Alex Panton Foundation's core values are awareness, advocacy, and support. And I just felt it effective to outline each of those and how exactly this project is going to meet and further the agenda of each of those core values. So for raising awareness, we feel that access to educational content that we're providing to explore another level of awareness. I feel like we, as a community in Cayman, are in a good place where it's, okay, we're working on destigmatizing. We're all aware that people can struggle with their mental health. So now we're looking to dig a little bit deeper on how aware are you on how to show up for people who are struggling. We know they exist, but using this resource to be more aware of how to navigate those situations if you yourself are in them or if someone you care about happens to be in them as well. From an advocacy standpoint, including content for parents and educators is going to be huge. We're hopeful that they can use this information to better understand what exactly the children and teens in their lives might be facing or struggling with, and feel better equipped to advocate for them, to reach out to certain resources, and honestly to encourage them to advocate for themselves. It's like, hey, you've got this resource where you can go and learn and understand about what you might be going through. And it also offers tips on how to seek help, how to get safe help, and how to speak up for yourself. So felt like advocacy was coming from two avenues in this project. Support, of course, the obvious one is being able to have a confidential and anonymous space for our young people to speak freely and safely with a trained volunteer. That is a huge support point, and we're really excited about how that aspect will further our mission. Circling back to acknowledge how critical additional support systems are, because we understand that sometimes it can be difficult for our kids and teens to reach out to their parents or their friends, and this can be a really, really pivotal addition to our community as to just one more person that they know they can turn to and be safe and get help they need. Our volunteers for the phone line and text line will be trained and committed to providing this safe space and reminding again that this is not a substitution for a clinical or crisis intervention, that this is really just good-hearted people trained and prepared to support your young person in a non-judgmental way and guide them to resources if they're looking for them. Can imagine you all have a lot of questions popping up. So we tried to anticipate what a few of those would be. First of which I imagine would be at the forefront of many of your heads. So what happens if you do have a child or a teen that contacts our number in crisis? In that case, while our services are anonymous and confidential, if they do disclose any information that reveals that they're in imminent danger to themselves or anyone around them, our volunteers are required by law to break confidentiality and contact emergency services to get them the support they need. So I wanted to make sure that you walk away also feeling assured that, yes, this is confidential, anonymous, to the point where if we need to make sure that they're safe, we'll do so. Oops, I went forward, my bad. Number 2, what if a child or teen tries to call or use a text line but no one answers? For the phone line, we will call back during operational hours. Our phone line will also have a feature where we're connected to emails, and so if a call comes in and we miss it because our agents are busy with other users, then that missed call number will be sent to the email that's connected, so we'll have that number and can call back. We'll also encourage them in our voice note for them to leave a message of a good time that we could return that call. And then for our text line, if the text line is open and a young person uses it and there's no agents available, it'll pop up your number 1 in queue or your number 2 in queue and let them know that someone will be with them soon. If they try and go and click Start Chat online when we're not operating, it will not take them anywhere. So it'll note that it's closed and they won't have the chance to even engage in that scenario. Ooh. Excuse me. Number 3, can children and teens access the phone line and text line services without parental consent? Thank you, Lizette. Thank you, much better, okay. Can they access this resource without parental consent? Yes, as long as a kid or a teen has access to internet or a phone that can connect to our services. Yes, absolutely. It's a safe space with trained volunteers, with vetted volunteers to ensure the safety of our young population. And also we want to empower them to speak up for themselves, to seek out help for themselves. And this is a really, really important opportunity that we have to encourage them to do so with this project. And 4th is, as an adult, can I still call the phone line or use the text line? Short answer is yes, we will never turn anyone away. Longer answer is, if you are an adult and you're struggling yourself, we encourage you to contact K-Mind, which is an already existing mental health helpline, and also want to take this chance to shout out Dipna from K-Mind, who has been amazing with the collaborative efforts. K-Mind, we've had a lot of collaborative work because we want to make sure that there's a continuity in the quality of service that the K-Minds community gets from volunteers across Kids Helpline leading up into the Adult Helpline. So really grateful for our collaborative efforts with them. And if you're an adult contacting our line seeking help for a young person, our volunteers, again, will have all the resources available handy, and they'll be able to help guide you in the right direction to find what you need. All right, I'm wrapping it up. My time is up. I can imagine that you guys have a lot of other questions. This is a very new resource. We're excited about it. It is definitely filling a lot of gaps when it comes to centralized information from an education perspective, resource perspective, and safe space for our young people perspective. So we're thrilled about this. We're happy to share it with you all, and I appreciate your time and attention.